When I was a little boy, I remember my mother telling me that a lady came around and saw me in the crib and said that I was born with a star over my head. And I spent most of my childhood life wondering what that star was. And as I got older, I just forgot about that. I didn't know what the star was. 5 years ago, I came to North Carolina, to Hertford, North Carolina, to watch my childhood home being torn down. That night, I awoke and I had a vision. It wasn't a dream. I just felt like the ancestors had spoken to me. I remember sitting up in bed and I said, the ancestors are in agony. So I can write. I wrote a screenplay titled The Agonies of the Ancestors. When it took me about 3 days to finish it. When I got back to New York, I showed it to a friend of mine. He read it. He said he liked the story. I told him about the vision that I had. But at the time, I was just trying to make a film. And I went to some people that I knew that could film a movie. And I knew I could get some actors to play the part. But for some reason, I couldn't make anything happen. I couldn't get to first base in making that film. So later, I moved back to Hertford, North Carolina, where my vision began to deepen. And more often it came. Every morning I would get up and I would have a new idea. I watched some kids playing in the park, playing basketball. And I began to wonder, how many of these children are we going to lose? And then I was driving down the road and I saw some black prison inmates out on the road cleaning up. And the sight of this caused me to really have tears in my eyes, and I was sure then that the ancestors must be weeping also. Then the vision of the Underground Railroad came to me. We have got to do something to save our children. I wrote TUGRA. TUGRA is the acronym for the Underground Railroad of the Ancestors. Then I wrote the mandate. It was then that I knew I had a mission from our ancestors. I was told that it wouldn't work, that there was no help for our people. I myself always wondered if anything could be done for us. I hated hearing that. Alice Walker wrote, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. The great ancestor, Reverend Allen Clayton Powell, said, use what is in your hands. Those football players at Missouri University showed what power in your hands were. The school was going to let that black student on their hunger strike starve to death until the football team stepped in. Use what is in your hands. The more unity we are, the more united we are, the more respect we will get. Dr. King had a dream. I have a dream also, that not one of our children drop out of school, that they master all the subjects. No one in our group will ever be suspended from school. No one goes to jail. No one dies. No one are killed. That we tell our young black girls how beautiful and special they are. The great ancestor Frederick Douglass said, "It's easier to raise a strong child than to repair a broken man." I say it's easier to stay out of trouble than it is to get out of trouble. The great ancestor Ella Baker said, "Give light, and the people shall find the way." Whenever this task given me gets too hard and seems impossible, I go out into the night and stare at the moon and stars. And like Kuta Kinte, I raise my hand and beseech our ancestors for the strength to carry on. And I get that strength needed. Our condition in this country is not our fault. From the beginning of slavery to this year is 397 years. We were in slavery for 246 years, Jim Crow for 100 years. 52 years later, we are still being unfairly treated. It is not our fault that we have always lived in poor neighborhoods. We were put there. In war, if you become a POW, you must be debriefed when you become free. We were not debriefed from slavery. We had no place to go and was given nothing to get there with. We met hostility with every step. What if America has said to us, "We are sorry. Please forgive us for what we have done to you. Please let us make it up to you"? The Homestead Gray Act, America gave new Europeans 162 acres of land to get started with, but we were given nothing but a hard time. I knew that our ancestors gave me the story first, but wouldn't let me do anything with it until I saw the whole picture. The movie and mandates go hand in hand. I need all of you to pre-order the DVD of the film when it is made. On Broadway, people pre-order their tickets sometime 2 years in advance before the play is done. All monies made will immediately go towards saving our children. We will build centers. We will name the centers the debriefing and advancement centers of the ancestors. Centers that will be a safe haven for our children. Places where they can do and get help with their homework, learn to play chess, music, and other things. Already I have people that have bought the DVD. Some have paid for membership also. Our goal is 1 million pre-sales. The DVD is $20. Please order and tell everyone you know to do so. Make everyone buy them. Make everyone buy their own. We will take those young men hanging out on the corners and teach them how to build houses. I read on Facebook, faith is taking the first step without seeing the staircase. The ancestors at the top of this page are the character in this story. Please help get this movement started. On this Facebook, we will also keep you abreast as to what we are doing and the money taken in. It is time we gave this country a new look, a new us. As long as we have nothing of our own for our children to come to, they will have problems. Whenever too many of us go to a public place, whites stop coming. Remember that pool party in Texas where the cops came out? Remember the person that said, "Go back to your Section 8 houses"? That's how people talk to you when you act as if you are begging. We were taught in slavery not to trust each other. And that still persists until today, and it needs to stop. I'd like to tell you about the episodes of the story. Everyone who read the story really loved the story. My story goes like, 3 boys are walking from school, and a lady leaves her car running. And one boy decided that he wanted to go for a ride, figured that he was just going to go for a little joyride. And one boy is saying no, the other boy is in the middle. He didn't know where he wanted to go or stay. By the time the 2 of them decided they were going to get in the car, the scene will freeze, and the ancestors are going to appear. So I have 7 different episodes just like that. I have another episode where a mother is on crack, and she has a 13-year-old daughter. All donations are tax deductible. I have a 501c3. Please send checks or money order. We will make movies of our ancestors that will never be done by big companies or get into the movie house. So